A very good evening to you, our dear viewer, and once again, thank you for allowing us into your space. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango, and let's delve straight into the bulletin. Now, President Yoweri Museveni has today hosted the ambassador of the United States of America to Uganda, His Excellency William W. Pope, at State Lodge, Nakasero. The two leaders engaged in a fruitful discussion on trade, bilateral relations, and followed up on the president's recent phone conversation with the U.S. Secretary of State, His Excellency Marco Rubio. Also in the attendance were Ambassador Donia Ayebare, Uganda's permanent representative to the United Nations, and Mr. Ramadan Gobi, permanent secretary and secretary to the Treasury, Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Well, we will bring you that story in just a little while as we wait for, that technical glitch to pass. Now, as we go ahead, President Yoweri Museveni has commissioned 4 new factories and laid a foundation stone for 9 others at the Sino Uganda Mbale Industrial Park in Mbale City. He pledged to resolve challenges facing investors in the park, particularly drainage and road network, to prevent the recurrence of the 2022 floods that affected the area.
Factories commissioned include Timber Paper, which manufactures toilet paper, Zinglong Textiles, Nice Textiles and Yun Steel, a producer of construction steel. In addition, the president laid a foundation stone for 9 more factories, marking continued growth of the industrial hub. Currently, the park is home to 73 factories, employing over 11,000 workers. While addressing the gathering, President Museveni applauded investors for creating jobs for Ugandans and contributing to economic development.
Here we have got a town of industries, not a town of retail shops selling mandazi, selling what? Now you see the difference. So many of the things we have been importing from outside are here, are being made here. Television, what have you, telephones, they are all being made here. So the industrial park helps us solve the problem of the goods we need, number 1. Number 2, it uses more electricity. You hear the demand of electricity. 50 megawatts, 100 megawatts, 200 megawatts, that's what they demand here. When they are consuming that electricity, they are supporting our economy by buying power.
He also encouraged residents of Mbale to support the park by supplying food to workers, seeing it as an opportunity to raise household incomes.
Creating jobs, 11,000 people working here now. How many jobs are there? Abemiruka barba meka mubugisu. Abemiruka abakola omuluka. Atabe gomborora. Those are few jobs. That's why we tell you that industries are the answer for Uganda, for Africa. So I'm very glad that people are gradually understanding this.
The president further revealed plans to secure an additional 600 acres of land elsewhere to expand investment opportunities and attract more factories. On arrival, Museveni toured the newly established factories, accompanied by ministers Evelyn Anite, David Bahati, and other local leaders. Minister of State for Investment and Privatization, Evelyn Anite, commended the president for his guidance and commitment to the success of the industrial park.
There were 560 squatters on this land, and I asked you to give me money to compensate them worth 4 billion. Your Excellency, you did not only grant that amount of money, but came to Mbale and laid the foundation stones. That's why today we are talking about 73 factories in Mbale. Mr. President, congratulations.
Paul Zhang, the chairperson of Chinese investors in Uganda, also expressed gratitude for the government's support, saying it has enabled smooth operations.
Thank you for support Mbale Industrial Park. Thank you, give us best investment environment in Uganda. There you can see how many children get a job. More than 10,000 of our children get a job. Without you, we have nothing to do.
The Sino-Uganda Mbale Industrial Park occupies 619 acres of land. Henry Okrut, UBC.
The Henry Okrut. Now, the just concluded NRM National Delegates Conference has attracted a wider criticism base, especially from members who are dissatisfied with the outcome of the elections. The biggest contention is arising from the postponed youth elections, a matter which has been suspended until further notice.
As a youth of Uganda, we are not happy because election was not fair.
Just hours after the conclusion of the 4th National Delegates Conference of the NRM Party, the outcome has left many participants sneezing.
Non-delegate, they came to the venue. People from student from Makerere came and entered in the venue.
There was also money exchanging hands. I saw an envelope written 300,000.
These are mainly losers at different races.
When it came to voting, I was not allowed to speak. The volume of the microphone was switched off. I don't know whether switched off or what. The lighting was not enough. You couldn't tell the faces of the delegates. You couldn't. Then there were kanyamas guarding these people, preventing them from going into my line. I thought that was not fair.
With many youth league elections paused, those who were declared victorious are quick to defend their triumph.
Away from the propaganda, away from all that is happening, the talk of the streets, we are an intentional group, and intentionality gives us direction. We are not emotional. Believe me not, emotions only give you reactions. We were voted by the young people on loudspeaker. That vote was a count of 1 to 100. And believe me not, the truth offered Team Tanga Collins the win.
Tang was contesting for the national chairperson, NRM Youth League, a post he boasts of pocketing, although his competitors are still banging the tables.
Team Tanga Collins won massively with a range of about 1,567 votes against a one Chichoncho Brenda that was a merge of 5 other candidates.
Today, in the protest of the announcement Tanga made, announcing his son as the chairperson of National Youth League. And yet, in reality, it's me who won.
Addressing the media this Friday afternoon from Makerere University, Collins insists he is the right person for the position.
The youth are tired of Kadongo Kamu music. For a long time we have been picking this music, and we want to push it the reggae way. We are switching up the style to reggae music. The young people call me the reggae master, reggae warriors.
Tang also find it unfounded to conflict his father, who serves as the NRM Electoral Commission chairperson.
They connive, the chairman, his son, Tang Akolin, they connive with his father, and they brought people from the Makerere student and came online when the voter was not there.
These young people had discussed, and by force, you know how he talks arrogantly. He went on the microphone and he announced his son. All these young people have injuries.
Dr. Tango Doi, the chairman of the Electoral Commission, who also by God's decision, that was to be my father, did not rig for me. I also want to put it on record that the Electoral Commission chairperson, Dr. Tango Doi, is not the one that actually ran through that election. He's not the one that counted the vote. He only declared which is his mandate.
With the election of say concluded, the regional imbalance in the already elected party conclave is also a matter which has set in.
When you look at the veterans, went to the west. When you look at the women, went to the west. When you look at the elderly, went to the west. When you look at the historicals, went to the west. What Team Tanga says and the NRM government is equitable sharing of the national cake.
Robert Nyango, UBC News.
NRM.
Co-sharing of the cake. Now, young leaders vying to represent the NRM party in the upcoming youth parliamentary elections are calling for a meeting with the party chairman, President Yoweri Museveni, ahead of the polls. They insist that the president should oversee the September elections, citing his impartiality as key to ensure a transparent and credible process.
Originally, the youth elections were scheduled to take place alongside those of other special interest groups at Kololo. However, while other NRM leagues successfully conducted their polls, the youth elections were postponed. Here is why.
What dawns on us is that most of the candidates have not yet been given the register of delegates. Up to now, we were going to get to that election without a good register outlined and accredited by the movement system.
The delay is attributed to intimidation, lack of transparency, and bias from certain election officials.
The concern of who presides over the election. As a youth MP aspirants, we have a very huge concern of Mr. Dr. Tango Doi. We believe there is no transparency in the electoral process. And the election that happened on the 26th was the best example to the young people.
This echoes the call for a meeting with President Museveni, emphasizing the need for his involvement before any voting takes place.
And I think we have all agreed that in the presence of the national chairperson, we can have some little bit of transparency in our election. We have also agreed unanimously that we think the best place for this election to happen is actually State House. Nowhere else, State House.
In addition to requesting State House as the election venue, the youth are urging that President Museveni personally preside over the proceedings.
And the election that happened on the 26th was the best example to the young people. We call upon His Excellency, like he promised us, to be the presider of the election as the chairman of the party.
All we want and all we are asking for is a peaceful election, and let the winner be a winner. And let those ones who lose be comfortable that they have won me peacefully.
The youth elections in Colorado were also suspended due to concerns over the legitimacy of some delegates. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Now over to Kasese. The NRM Election Disputes Tribunal has upheld the victory of Sarah Itungo Masereka as the NRM party flag bearer for Women MP Kasese District. Masereka welcomed the ruling that was announced to her during the NRM Delegates Conference in Kololo.
And I'm very excited that today, as we end the national conference for the movement for the NRM, is the day the tribunal has announced my victory. I was able to defend my victory. I was petitioned, but I defended my victory. So Ngasima Banya Kasese, I thank the people of Kasese very, very much for the opportunity they've given me to be their flag bearer. And I am seeking the government of Uganda, President Museveni, Kasese district, we have completed 20 full years as the NRM party without a woman MP coming from the NRM party into parliament. This is the opportunity of young people coming up, vibrant people to come and represent the NRM in the parliament of Uganda. So I'm seeking the NRM secretariat, the president and chairperson of the party, please put a lot of energy in Kasese district, especially for the woman MP seat. Woman MP seat, Kasese district, so that we can be very successful. And I am very hopeful that if we...
Now, the State Minister for Information, Communication, Technology and National Guidance, Godfrey Kabyanga Baluku, has called for more investment in sports tourism as one way to promote tourism sites in the country. Now, Kabyanga made these remarks while presiding over the 6th biannual private sector CEO forum led at Wildlife Education Conservation Area, formerly in Entebbe Zoo, where he launched the first CEO run.
Glad that you're here. Thank you.
Stakeholders in the tourism industry have convened in Entebbe municipality to discuss the milestones gained over the years in the tourism industry and issues still affecting the sector.
All this can be sorted out.
The State Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Godfrey Kabyanga Baluku, was the chief guest at the event held at the Uganda Wildlife Education Conservation Area, formerly known as Entebbe Zoo. Kabyanga launched the first CEO run scheduled for 9th to 11th September 2025 in Fort Portal Tourism City under the theme Run for Life.
So I think sports tourism is something we should pick a lot of interest in and invest heavily in it and see how people can embrace it.
The CEO run is we are doing it for the first time. Is we are promoting health. You know, when you run, that is partly health. But also to ensure that the CEOs are part of this fraternity, to know that it's important to support the sports tourism as we go forward.
According to Kabyanga, the government has invested in modern technology, with UCC taking lead in the upgrading of technology to monitor social media as well as detect negative information which is affecting the tourism industry.
With AI now you can detect anything. So we are upgrading our technology. Right now what we have managed to do is if you post, we can trace for you. We can trace it after posting. But now we want to start tracing it even before you post it.
Irene Birungi Mugisha, the CEO, Presidential CEO Forum, noted that the 6th biannual private sector CEO Forum also aims at positioning Uganda's wildlife and heritage for global competitiveness.
Their slogan right now, like the minister said, is protecting the games. How do you do it? Is through such conversations where people get to understand that, okay, this is what government is doing, but what is our footprint? How best can we complement government? So PCF is just a championing of stakeholders in terms of CEOs, bringing them together and look at concerns that can be escalated for better implementation and also better strategic improvement.
Meanwhile, sector players raised concerns about the increasing computer misuse associated with misleading information which is affecting the tourism industry.
We must be able to come up with laws that criminalize some of these bad behaviors that undermine tourism. But also for government, we have been saying this again and again, we must have good communication that is coordinated. If it is an epidemic or if it is a security incident.
Tourism private sector players lauded the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities and Uganda Tourism Board for marketing Uganda's tourism potential. However, they remained optimistic, prioritizing sports tourism as Uganda's intervention to promote Uganda's rich biodiversity. The 6th biannual Private Sector CEO Forum Tourism Conference convened under the theme Conservation as Capital to Position Uganda's Wildlife and Heritage for Global Competitiveness. Marion Awori and Sula Kagugube, UBC.
Now, the dream of fertilizer production for the use within the Uganda and the export across the neighboring countries is alive once again. Now, plans are underway for the construction of the fertilizer plant to happen in Kampiringisa, Mpigi district.
Although Uganda is blessed with sunshine and fertile soils, as captured in the 3rd stanza of the national anthem, prolonged use of land has depleted soil nutrients. This has resulted in low yields for farmers, still relying on natural soils, making the addition of nutrients either through manure or fertilizers almost inevitable. According to the National Development Plan, government targets to increase fertilizer adoption from 2.5 kilograms per hectare to 25 kilograms per hectare. Achieving this shift requires not only sensitization, but also deliberate efforts to ensure access to affordable fertilizers countrywide. This explains government's decision to welcome Itracom Uganda with an off-take agreement to establish a fertilizer plant in Kampiringisa, Mpigi district.
This plant, which is going to be set in Kampiringisa, Mpigi district, is going to be producing 1 million tons per year. But that one, it cannot start once. We shall start by phases.
Another objective of the 3rd National Development Plan is to utilize available raw materials and reduce spending on imports, including fertilizers.
Going to get phosphate from Uganda, which we shall set a plant for the phosphate. We are going to get potassium from Uganda, which we shall set a plant which is going to process that from Uganda. We are going to get nitrogen from Uganda, and we are going to get cow dung from Uganda. All those raw materials, they have processes which we need manpower, and all that manpower is going to be coming from Uganda.
The leadership of the yet-to-be-constructed plant says the facility is being designed to serve both Uganda and the regional export market.
We shall be exporting the fertilizer in eastern of Congo, and Sudan, and Rwanda, and the western of Kenya. So now we have already the buyers, clients from Congo, which are sourcing the fertilizer from Tanzania in Dodoma.
Bijirimana explains that the factory will gradually scale up production to full capacity. Some of the raw materials earmarked for production include cow dung.
It is going to be organomineral. In part, the cow dung itself, which is the product, and then 2 is covering the deficiency in the soils with those minerals that have been utilized or overused. So the beauty about this, the products of Itracom, is that it shall facilitate for the crops and facilitate for the soil degradation or minerals that have gone out.
While the factory is expected to ease accessibility of fertilizers, experts say sensitization will still be needed to encourage farmers to embrace their use. Cayenne Faith, Andrew Sebida, for ABC.
Uganda is currently sheltering approximately 1.9 million refugees and asylum seekers as of 2025. Stakeholders from the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Ministry of Agriculture, among others, have called for shifting of all efforts on resilience to ably sustain the increasing refugee population.
This increasing refugee figures in Uganda remains dynamic, influenced by the ongoing turmoil in Sudan, South Sudan, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, which has led to a steady stream of newcomers, particularly from the DRC, as noted in mid-June 2025.
And one of the take-homes from this meeting is mainly on the issues of the durable solutions, that there is need for us to focus on how we can manage the challenges we have, which one of them is the voluntary repatriation of refugees.
During the Labour Day celebrations that we had in Nakapiripirit, His Excellency the President launched the Labour Market Information System, which will enable us to track the employment opportunities, the jobs that are being created across the different sectors. And that also means that we are not only looking at jobs created for nationals or citizens, we are looking at jobs also for any other person that lives within the borders of this country, including the refugees. As you know, our policies recognize refugees as part of the people that are living in this country and that are contributing to economic development.
The increasing refugee numbers have exerted pressure on social services, according to the stakeholders.
The host nation needs to be concerned about the numbers because obviously resources are limited here in Uganda. However, Uganda has been very generous to its neighbors. I mean, the neighbors were also generous to Uganda some time back, some years back when Uganda was also in a situation that resulted in refugees leaving or Ugandans leaving the country to seek refuge elsewhere. But there is a limit. There is a limit to the resources that can be availed for management of refugees. That is why we continue to appeal to the international community not to forget about Uganda.
The difficult issues around funding is certainly a big concern for all of us, for government and for partners. The good news are that we very much agree on how to approach it. We agree that self-reliance, resilience, livelihoods must be the backbone of addressing the growing needs. So that's one. We agreed that localization, working better with local governments, working more coordinated, and also working more closely with local partners on the ground, local Ugandan partners, but also refugee partners, refugee-led partners is another key to success and to address and mitigate the impact of reduced funding.
There has been a call for mass agricultural production in Uganda as a refugee hosting nation.
From the perspective of MAIF, I just want to let you know that MAIF continues to play a central pillar of implementation on the self-reliance pillar of CRRF. Our role extends beyond food production. It's about creating livelihoods, building resilience to climate change, and fostering inclusive agricultural systems that enable both refugees and host communities to thrive together.
As of June 2025, the United Nations allocated $2.5 million in emergency funding. However, significant funding gaps were recorded in August 2025 that risk ongoing progress and threaten aid delivery. Mario Nawori, UBC.
Now, in two court cases, the 9 suspects in the trespass case on Miracle Center Cathedral land have pinned Pastor Robert Kayanja for failing to pay them after rendering him services. Now, in another case, a Machindie Magistrates Court has charged and remanded one Buridu David to Luzira on charges of forcible entry on Kazi Busabara land.
Mwanga, the second Chief Magistrates Court before Magistrate Adam Barugaba, is still hearing evidence in the case of trespass against the 9 suspects accused of trespassing on Pastor Robert Kayanja's church land of Miracle Center Cathedral in Rubaga. The accused, number 5, Alex Wakamala, in his evidence informed court how he got in touch with Pastor Robert Kayanja way back in 2016, following a recommendation from his residence pastor in Mbale. Wamala added that he joined Miracle Center Cathedral as an usher but was later on appointed head of security at the church and was trained to be part of the K9 team. Wamala said his first time to meet Pastor Robert Kayanja was in his office at Miracle Center Cathedral in Rubaga when he called him for some help in regards to office duties. Wamala was cross-examined by Robert Kayanja's legal team. The same court has remanded Namuga Prosi, who was a surety, to Semanobe Moses Musa in the same case after failure by Semanobe to appear in the court. Although court had ordered her to pay 20 million Uganda shillings to set her free, this was impossible, thus sending her to Luzira prison. The hearing of the case will resume on 5th September 2025. Meanwhile, Machindi Magistrates Court has charged and remanded a one Buridu David on charges of forcible entry on Kazi Busawala land situated in Wakiso district. Prosecution alleges that David Baridu and others still large on 24th June 2025 by using force entered land block number 273 plot 5 situated in Kazi Busawala, Wakiso district.
5 cases. The first one is forcible entry. That is entry using force. You, together with Valgwahari Mujan Patrick, Ratungwere Stephen, Musha John Musoke Stephen, Brian, Munuze Alex, Orwang Michael Richard, Anyango Francis, and other people who are not yet arrested. On the 24th of June 2025, at Kazi Busawala Division, Makinde Savaga Municipality, Wakiso District, in order to take possession of land comprised in LRV 1693 folio 5, block 273 plot 5, belonging to Uganda Scouts Association in a violent manner, that is by collecting an unusual number of people and breaking into the office of Uganda Scouts Association, you entered and graded the said land.
The said land belonging to Uganda Scouts Association. Buridu pleaded not guilty to the alleged offences. Although he wanted to be released on bail, this was impossible since the trial magistrate was not around. Court will resume on 1st September 2025.
Now, still in court, but Supreme Court Judge Mike Chibita has implored law students to consider ethical codes of conduct while pursuing their careers. Chibita was presiding over the Inter-University Constitutional Law Moot Competition 2025 organized by the Center of Health, Human Rights and Development.
Organized by the Center for Health, Human Rights and Development, CEHAD, has nurtured legal minds passionate about social justice and human rights.
Annual events that we look forward to, they bring together students from more than 10 universities each year who compete in front of real magistrates and real judges of high courts, the Court of Appeal, the constitutional courts. And the reason, and they compete on issues, real issues of that, real challenges of society, specifically around the right to health, and more so on issues of sexual and productive health and rights and gender justice.
Over 14 universities, including Makerere Metropolitan International University and Cavendish University, took part, where 2 universities faced the bench judges from High Court. Presiding over this moot court was Supreme Court Judge Justice Mike Chibita.
As far as respondents' appellants go, the final scores, the respondents' team average was 74%. Let's give them a loud hand clap. And the appellants' team average 80.2. Therefore, that means in this context, the appellants have taken the day with scoring 80.2%.
Cavendish University emerged victorious and the best advocate from the competition and the opportunity for a legal internship at CEHAD. Bishop Stewart University and many more that were in the two-day competition impressed judges with clarity and legal reasoning.
There was a very good mastery of the law as well as the facts. I could see the facts flowing, and this is what we want. You've been given a brief. How is it going? You have the facts here at the fingertips, all of you, and then the law itself, the way you are citing it.
We were talking a lot about discrimination. If you claim discrimination, you have to clearly state the ground.
Winners expressed gratitude towards the organizing committee as well as their tutors from the university. As CEHAD looks to the 13th edition, the growing interest in the moot courts underscores a rising generation of legal minds committed to advancing justice in Uganda and beyond. This year's theme is navigating divergent perspectives in promoting reproductive and gender justice in Uganda. Nal Sibawini, UBC News.
Now let's step into the world of health, where Minister for Health Dr. Jane Ruth Cheng has called for a stronger regional cooperation in the fight against pandemics. She was speaking at the launch of the IGAD Pandemic Preparedness and Response Project.
The Pandemic Preparedness and Response Project is a new initiative by the Intergovernmental Authority on Development aimed at strengthening pandemic readiness across Africa. Health Minister Dr. Jane Ruth Cheng said the project is a milestone in securing health systems and ensuring that member states can detect, prevent and respond to outbreaks more effectively.
That we are beginning to see the returns of our investments, in that the numbers are going down and going down very quickly based on surveillance, treatment and vaccination. So today's launch will build on the solid foundation of previous collaborative efforts that we have had with IGAD and all our countries.
The minister also called for the creation of a regional contingency fund, saying pandemics know no borders and require rapid collective action.
Colleagues, allow me to appreciate the Secretariat for highlighting the key challenges and the gaps that are cross-cutting among the member states, such as inadequate investments in cross-border surveillance and early warning systems, the limited laboratory capacities, the inadequate health workforce and community systems capacities, and the underutilization of evidence-based advocacy and multi-sectoral coordination.
IGAD Executive Secretary Dr. Wokne praised Uganda's leadership against Ebola and Mpox, pledging continued One Health support to all 7 states.
So we'll continue to work with you, and also we hope that this project will be, the launching of this project will be the beginning of another preparedness for another war against any enemy that come to our health.
Prepare project focuses on cross-border surveillance, laboratory capacity, workforce training, and multi-sector collaboration to strengthen regional health security.
And as the head of mission to the Republic of Uganda, I would like to pledge my commitment in supporting the Ministry of Health with the guidance of the Dr. Wokne Gebeyehu, the Executive Secretary of IGAD, to ensure that the IGAD commitments to the Republic of Uganda through the Ministry of Health is delivered. This is not just a promise, but a commitment, and I'll continue to support and ensure that we deliver beyond the Prepare project.
The region battles recurring health threats from climate change, weak systems, and cross-border movement.
Today, we position the matter of health emergency, preparedness, equality, squarely at the forefront of this agenda, acknowledging that without robust health systems, resilient communities, our advancements in development and stability cannot be maintained.
Sudat Kaye and Robert Whiter, UBC News.
Thank you very much, there's Sudat Kaye. Now, the Standard Gauge Railway project has taken a major step forward with the National Content Symposium aimed at promoting local participation in the construction of the Malabar-Kampala Eastern Route. The Minister for Works and Transport, General Edward Wamala Katumba, emphasized the transparency.
As Uganda makes progress to the commencement of the Standard Gauge Railway project, the Standard Gauge Railway National Symposium brought together key players of the 40% national content.
Those who can either provide cement, steel, sand, whatever, even mills.
I want to discourage this feeling that if it is local labor, then it must only be the people where the corridor is passing. It must be Ugandans. The standard gauge railway may not pass Karamoja now, but the Karamojong will be hired by this company if they volunteer to come and work. The Lugwara should be free to come and work. The Bafumbira should be free to come and work.
Project coordinator Engineer Perez Wambulu revealed significant progress in the resettlement and compensation of over 6,000 project-affected persons.
The compensation, as you know, started a long time ago from Malaba coming down towards Kampala up to Mayuge. If you remember, if you know Mayuge, we have compensated over 99% over the PAPs. Up to Ginger, if you stretch it up to Ginger, we have done over 80%. Now we are in Wikwe. If you stretch it from Malaba to Wikwe, we have compensated over 60%.
The theme of the project, Unlocking Local Potential Through Modern Railway Infrastructure Development, reflects a focus on inclusive employment and the strategic engagement of Ugandan suppliers, contractors, and service providers.
It's not about guaranteeing, it is about ability. Are you able? For example, let me take a very small example. You are going to supply us with sand, and they are saying you are going to supply 1,000 trucks of sand. Are you able to supply the 1,000 trucks of sand? Are you able to supply it in time? Are you able to supply that quantity constantly so that you do not let the contractor down? The moment the contractor feels threatened in loss of time, he will definitely cut you off.
Local content providers will be relied upon based on their proven abilities, underscoring the importance of self-assessment and readiness among Ugandan businesses.
We represent genuine providers, genuine suppliers, genuine contractors within the construction sector. And it is our mandate to ensure that our members do quality work, they deliver on time, and do work that can be relied on.
We don't want you to plan failing right from the beginning. That's why I'm saying, if you think you cannot do it alone, do it with somebody else. And then you combine the forces and you'll be able to deliver.
So can we have a situation where all the requirements, be it the steel, the cement, any other requirement which is necessary for the project, the standards are floated early so that if at all we can't be able to have that manufactured in Uganda, we can try to work on our standards so that we can meet those particular standard requirements.
General Edward Katumba Wamala, Minister for Works and Transport, stressed the need for transparency in all procurement processes, reaffirming government commitment to equitable national development through the standard gauge railway.
Opportunities must be visible, decisions must be defendable, corruption, rent-seeking, and favoritism will have no place in this project. PMU, you must remain as clear and as transparent as you have been.
The operations of the standard gauge railway are expected to commence in April next year. Cayenne Faith, Pauline Aiso for UBC.
Now, the Health Service Commission has conducted its quarterly support supervision visit at the Children's Surgical Hospital in Entebbe. The visit aims at assessing staff performance, service delivery, and the hospital's preparedness for a planned transition from NGO to full government management.
Located in Entebbe, the Children's Surgical Hospital has become one of Uganda's key centers for specialized pediatric surgical care. It was established under partnership between Emergency and International NGO and the government of Uganda.
Today we received a delegation from the Health Service Commission, that is a national body that we are working with since the inception of the hospital to recruit all our medical staff. We discussed the achievement, the success, and also the challenges that we are facing. In terms of challenges, we have a challenge to recruit a specialized doctor, especially surgeons, anesthesiologists, radiologists, and pediatricians. Those are the positions that are still missing in our roster, and today they are fulfilled thanks to our organization's staff planning in terms of international recruitment.
Health Service Commission visited the hospital to assess service delivery, staff and human resource systems. During the visit, the Commission addressed key aspects of the hospital's upcoming transition into government control.
Government, together with Emergency, agreed during their early discussions and MOU that it would be good if the staff are recruited by the Health Service Commission, because going forward in the future, there will be transition from Emergency, which has been supporting and funding this facility, to transition it to government. And if they transition it to government, then it will be easier for the staff, the local staff, to transition to public service. Because we've had these challenges before. Let's say we have partners who are running staff in our hospitals.
The Commission assured staff the transition will be gradual, maintaining care, quality and efficiency. Staff concerns ranged from employment terms and benefits to career progression and training.
The Uganda government contribution has increased to 50%. So there is a 50% contribution. As we were going through that, management and the Health Service Commission, I think this brought in anxiety among staff, because one thing that came to their mind is that if the transition is that way, that quick, from 80 to 20% to 50%, they were like, maybe very soon this will be handed over to government of Uganda. And their anxiety was based in the fact that they were worried whether government of Uganda would be able to fully take up the institution.
The hospital is currently in a phased co-management model with government support progressively increasing. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Super mustairo Get the new Kabode Super smartphone and enjoy 16 GB free. Start with a deposit of only 45,000 Uganda shillings and pay the rest in daily installments of less than 1K. You can also make weekly and monthly installments. Together, our vibes are unstoppable. Terms and conditions apply. MTN. MTN is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here, in the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking to the taste of food that takes you on a journey, in the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth. in the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the pearl of Africa.
At UNOC, we believe in safety.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala, 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
Welcome back from that short break. Now, the Local Government Finance Commission has wrapped up a 2-day negotiation process with key ministries implementing the Human Capital Development Program, setting the tone for the national budget process financial year 2026-2027.
The Human Capital Development Program will be implemented by various ministries like Education, Health, Water and Gender, among others. Government reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening disease surveillance and expand ambulance services. The Commission, however, says these ambulances should be properly maintained.
We have procured half the number of ambulances that we need, but we have agreed as a matter of policy in the new ambulance policy, we have agreed that we should have 1 ambulance per 100,000 population. That means our objective is to have 1 ambulance in each constituency.
There's no funding provided to maintain and sustain these ambulances in terms of fueling and repairs, general maintenance.
Participants raised concern over the persistent rate of teenage pregnancies, which currently stands at 25%.
25% of girls between 15 and 19 get pregnant early, when they are teens, before they are 19. And that's a big problem. So we have agreed with the local governments that together within the program, Minister of Education, Minister of Health, Minister of Water, we work with local governments to address this problem.
Other issues raised include poor water supplies with high rates of connection. The Commission tasked the Ministry of Water to subsidize these fees and also decommission and replace broken boreholes.
Those boreholes that are really They are broken down for 5 years, unrepairable, but they still keep appearing on the district systems as if they are functioning. So that is very key.
But we are emphasizing this time that we concentrate on a village per source. So we prioritize villages without water sources. But you know, Madam Chairperson, the biggest challenge we have are the local governments, the political will. These budgets are budgets of the council. I will tell you, if there is a district chairperson here knows who is the executive, before they get out of the executive, everybody has allocated himself three sources.
The meeting stated the need to come up with a comprehensive approach to addressing the devastating effects of climate change.
We needed to have zoning of what are the critical climate change effects. First of all, the predisposing factors per region. What are the common occurrences of disasters of that nature? And then we focus on those.
To come up with a comprehensive climate change response. So we need to discuss at the program level, but it's coordinated by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Mary Namkose, Robert Katamba, UBC News.
And in the area of ending violence, High Court Judge Lady Justice Susan Okalang has said hundreds of thousands of crimes committed by the Lord Resistance Army LRA have not yet been presented or heard in court. She made these remarks during a regional forum focused on enhancing access to justice.
Over the years, Uganda has continued to receive numerous cases related to violence against women, girls, and even men from across the region and beyond. To address this issue, FIDA Uganda, in collaboration with the Strategic Initiative for Women in the Horn of Africa (SIHA Network), Friday hosted a regional gender conference focused on advancing women's rights.
1 out of 3 women is experiencing directly violence and sexual violence crimes. And that's an indication of huge challenges within our system. So part of the objectives of this meeting is to learn from each other in terms of how can we improve policies, how can we improve our capacity to litigate and to collaborate together.
Lady Justice Okalang, a judge at the High Court of Uganda, attributes the increase in cases of violence to unreported crimes, failure to prosecute existing cases, and the continued recruitment of children by the Allied Democratic Forces. She also expressed concern that more than 2.2 million people globally are affected by modern slavery, hunger, early pregnancy, political instability, and ignored legal judgments, factors that significantly contribute to gender-based violence in Uganda and beyond.
Hundreds of thousands of victims of the LRA war crimes have not yet had their day in court, as many of their attackers received amnesty and may never face prosecution, despite the decision of the Supreme Court that indeed those who committed egregious crimes should be tried.
The Commissioner for Gender and Women Affairs at the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Angela Nakafero, appeals to survivors of violence to provide sufficient evidence in courts of law in order to achieve justice. She also encourages victims and survivors to report such cases with credible evidence to ensure perpetrators are brought to book.
Access to justice is a process. For the courts of law to be able to do its work, we need quality forensic evidence. And we can only get quality forensic evidence if the survivors are aware of their role in protecting the evidence.
FIDA Uganda Advocacy and Communications Manager Elizabeth Kemigisa reiterates the need for peace and stability, especially ahead of the 2026 general elections, noting that Political unrest often leads to displacement and heightened vulnerability, particularly among women and children.
Sometimes, usually times for elections, there is either usually instability that might cause displacement of people. So this conversation is meant, one, to reiterate that we are here for peace, we are here for regional integration, we are here for collaboration, and we are here to ensure that we utilize the African mechanisms, you utilize the national mechanisms present to ensure accountability for violations of rights.
The forum, held under the theme Justice Beyond Borders, Regional Mechanisms and Women's Rights in the Greater Horn of Africa, called for a unified approach to promoting peace, stability and gender justice across the region. Charity Marion Imnat and Regana Humuza for UBC News.
The Central Corridor is playing a critical role in facilitating the construction of the East African crude oil pipeline, a development that is fast-tracking the achievement Uganda's 2026 fast commercial oil target. According to the Petroleum Authority, Uganda transport and logistics are at the heart of this critical phase.
Has entered one of its most defining stages, linking the oil wells in Kabale, Hoima district, to the port of Tanga in Tanzania through the heated crude oil pipeline. Executive Director of the Petroleum Authority Uganda, Ernest Rubondo, says the Central Corridor is at the core of this process, facilitating transport and logistics.
The logistics were discussed, and initially the Tanzanian trucks were working in Tanzania, and also the Ugandan trucks were working on the Ugandan side. But there is need to speed up the project, and the trucks they are using are not the normal trucks. They have had to be extended. So Tanzania has had more extended trucks than those in Uganda. So we sat down with the logistics companies and agreed with them how many more additional trucks can they add. And the Ugandan companies were already supplying trucks, and they said in addition to what they are supplying, they are able to add up to 20 trucks. So they added the 20 trucks, but the requirement was 50 trucks. So then we opened up and said that the additional trucks can come from Tanzania.
In 2024 to 2025 period, a large fleet of Tanzanian and Ugandan registered trucks have been utilized to deliver line pipes to the coating plant at Sojo in Tanzania and secondary transport from there to the entire pipeline corridor in both countries. Officials from both the Petroleum Authority and East African Crude Oil Pipeline note that this development is deliberate, aimed at expediting construction works and keeping the fast oil timeline on track.
We have provisions for national content. There are trucks that are Ugandan, there are also trucks that are Tanzanian, and the reason is that we want to finish this project quickly. We have special trailers, 18-meter long. Today, if you ask a Ugandan to bring an 18-meter long trailer, you will not just get it. It's not there. So we had to mobilize in Uganda, in Tanzania, bring those pipes. We want to complete this project as soon as possible. That's why you realize that ECOP is East African. It is not Ugandan. It is East African. So we had to look for capacity in East Africa to ensure that these pipes come and we deliver the project on time.
Any bottlenecks, any challenges?
Challenges are there because this is a complex project. There are challenges in terms of what can you get locally.
The East African Crude Oil Pipeline, a joint project between Uganda and Tanzania, is not only building infrastructure, but also strengthening bilateral relations. Analysts believe that as more motorists, especially truck drivers, gain familiarity with the Central Corridor route, it will increasingly attract cargo traffic into Uganda and beyond, reaching neighboring countries such as South Sudan.
Now, MTN Momo Uganda has launched a new customer reward campaign dubbed Power to Win, giving users across the country a chance to win over 10 million shillings every week.
Unveiled at Akamwesi Mall in Kampala, the promotion is part of the ongoing Power to Be More campaign. Customers who use mobile money to pay, borrow or invest will automatically increase their chances of winning. Weekly winners will be selected from different regions with official handover ceremonies held in their communities. Speaking at the launch, MTN Mobile Money Uganda Chief Executive Officer Richard Diego said the initiative is aimed at empowering Ugandans by rewarding their everyday use of mobile money services.
We have come to customers to give them the excitement that they've been waiting for. When we started by saying, we are giving you the power to do more with Momo. Now today, it makes it more exciting to say you can actually win as you continue to do more. It is a phase where we're saying that you as the customer all over the country, from Kabale Kisoro to Yumbe Arua, to Kitgungulu, to Kotido, to Soroti, across the corners of Uganda, we are saying it is an opportunity for all of us to be able to participate in this promo for the next 90 days. We are going to be having the opportunity to actually win 10 million shillings as customers every week.
Chief Products Officer Jemima Kariyuki added that the promotion will encourage customers to fully embrace Momo's wide range of financial services.
So today we unveil our new upgraded app, which is beautiful. You know, as Richard already mentioned, some of the features are that you can open it without necessarily putting a PIN and OTP. So it has facial recognition, biometrics, amongst other beautiful features that we know you will all enjoy.
The Power to Win campaign will run nationwide until the end of the year.
Now, the Vice-Chancellor at Kampala University, Professor Badirudungu Katerega, has stressed the need to scale up vocational and academic training to meet the current market demands. He made the remarks while officiating the 4th graduation ceremony of Chadondo Vocational Training Institute.
Students from the institute exhibited innovations they say are designed to impact society positively.
We are to cater for the lame, for the disabled. In case of moving to the upper floor, they will be automatically transferred by our stairs. The automatic stairs were known as escalators.
Courses such as these formed the basis of this year's graduation. Wow. Vice-Chancellor Kampala University, Professor Badru Katerega, emphasized that aligning training with market needs is key to addressing youth unemployment.
So we need to include competence-based curriculum. The approach will ensure that your graduates are not only skilled, but also ready to meet the practical demands of the modern workplace. Workplaces have changed. Include also the study of a foreign language. Can do Swahili, can do French.
Deputy Executive Secretary UVTAB, Jalia Nasaza, noted the importance of strengthening institute boards to ensure learners access practical skills opportunities.
The composition of the Board of Governors has changed. 60% must be from the industry. So as you're renewing your new board, walk outside there. I want to come, when I come here, you introduce the training manager of roofing as your chairperson board. You introduce the hotel manager of Serena as member of your board.
The Institute's principal underscored the role of vocational training in fighting unemployment, but pointed out persistent challenges, especially inadequate funding, that limits enrollment and development.
We are calling you to acquire skills for self-survival, acquire skills for national development. We encourage students, those who have sat P7, Senior 4, Senior 6, to join technical education so that they acquire skills to start up in life.
To sincerely thank and momentarily thank our able chairman of governing council before this congregation for his spearheading role, especially in causing collaboration with credible companies that have given us a significant visibility and upper hand.
The fourth graduation passed out over 200 youth in various technical skills. Mary Namkose, UBC News.
Thank you very much there, Mary Namkose. Now, in the area of PW inclusivity, civil society organizations have called for advocacy of more inclusivity of persons with disabilities in government programs and all national matters. They say that there is a lack of awareness about the need for PWs amongst the population.
For the time allocated to me,
Uganda has over 78,000 persons with disabilities, most of them still struggling to fully benefit from social services like other people do. Olive Namutebi, a person living with albinism, notes that the public still lacks the aspect of inclusivity.
One, I can say the education sector. We're glad that through advocacy, the national UNEB is able to give extra time to learners with albinism to provide large font exams, because I've told you I cannot see, very far.
But the biggest challenge we are facing in this area is overwhelming numbers. As Kataremwa, we receive so many children, but we are handcuffed, we are tied, we cannot offer services to rehabilitate all of them. Some of these surgeries that they need, they are very expensive. And Kataremwa, as an institution, we may not sometimes afford to spend on those children to rectify them through surgeries.
There was a call for the integration of special needs training, especially in teacher training schools and in all organizations that handle special needs people.
One, many buildings do not comply with these standards when it comes to enforcement. Then there is limited capacity among local authorities to monitor and enforce the accessibility requirements. The act is there, but you find buildings that are still being constructed still do not meet the accessibility standards.
With most workplaces still not having persons with disabilities as their employees, they say that the country still has a lot of awareness checks to be done.
One of the biggest challenges we still continue to struggle with is sign language. And why? Because for that one, maybe I can blame the law. I think that's an area, my last 4 years as a commissioner on disability, I see there are lots of lacuna in our legal framework when it comes to sign language. If you are calling something a language and you don't have a dictionary for it, and you don't have a reference material standard for it, and you hear some universities are also starting the same language or issuing certificate for this.
The government of Uganda allocated 404.9 billion Uganda shillings for the National Special Grant for Persons with Disability in the 2025-2026 budget to support vulnerable people. Marion Awori, UBC.
Honorable Fred Biamukama, Minister of State for Works and Transport in charge of transport, invites you to the second phase of the 4-acre model campaign in Greater Bunyoro sub-region. The event will take place at Nalweyo Primary School Playground, Behimba Road, on Saturday, 20th September 2025 at 10 a.m. and will be graced by His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni. All residents, civil servants, and leaders from the districts that make up Greater Hoima, Greater Masindi, Greater Chibale, and neighboring areas are encouraged to attend in large numbers. This initiative, led by the President, aims to bring ordinary people into the money economy by showcasing farmers who have succeeded in the 1-acre model, 2-acre model, 3-acre model, and 4-acre model. Join local leaders and residents in learning how small land can be used to enhance food security and socio-economic growth. Don't miss this opportunity to witness the transformative impact on local communities.
Fine Entertainment Group, together with MTN, present Alive in the Park, the big party on the 12th of September at the Millennium Park, Lugogo. This year's Family Fun Park Festival features performances by Pompey, Esther Chungu, Teresa Pondo, and your top Ugandan gospel artists. Tickets are 30k ordinary, 70k VIP, and 150k for VVIP. What of the anything? Alibaba Tickets are available at 20k ordinary and 50k VIP for a limited time. Gates open at 12 p.m. To buy your ticket, dial *165 *20# and buy your ticket from MTN Momo. Alive in the Park is powered by Uganda Airlines, Safe Border, Cooksy Ice Cream, Kampala Serena Hotel, Zeti Inubia, and
MTN. Together, we're unstoppable.
Into the world of business, the second edition of the Namunkekera Trade Fair and Bazaar 2025 was launched Thursday at the Liao Sheng Industrial Park in Kapeka, Nakaseke district.
Event under the theme Driving Industrialization for Sustainable Growth is aimed at showcasing Uganda's industrial potential with a focus on local manufacturing and Buy Uganda, Build Uganda Bubu initiative.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank retired General Salim Saleh for the vision, the dream that he had for many years that he came to bring to pass up to today. From a personal dream in the head and bringing it out here to the Ugandans. We take this opportunity to again thank His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who saw it, who he preached to and supported this dream to come out. Here we are supporting Ugandans from a multi-million Ugandan and the dream come true that is going to support the 8 generations that are coming.
The fair brought together manufacturers and consumers who came to discover locally made products and were able to buy them cheaply at factory price.
I would like to take a moment to recognize and sincerely thank our exhibitors. Your hard work, creativity, and dedication are what make this event truly special. We encourage everyone to take full advantage of this opportunity, explore, ask questions, and support our exhibitors.
Investors appreciated the Chief Coordinator of Operation Wealth Creation, General Salim Saleh, and the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for the good environment they have provided for them in their production processes.
We have been in the country since 1995. We have completed 30 years in the market. We are one of the largest processors of rice, and we have gone into the farming as well. So we are supporting over 2,000 farmers. General Saleh, particularly, I'd like to thank, he's our patron for the Rice Millers Council and Rice Farmers Association. He has really been a pillar of support in the food sector.
We are a company that distributes Ugandan-made products at factory prices. We have a trade bazaar from Thursday to Saturday. Please come and support us and support the Ugandan economy.
The day feathered exhibitions from industries like textiles, pharmaceuticals, agro-processing, electrical, construction and food processing, among others, hosted by Namunkekera Rural Industrial Center and Operation Wealth Creation.
Photon Motors, a globally recognized automotive manufacturer, has launched its new lineup of vehicles at the company's showroom at the Namamve National Industrial Park. Let's hear more in this report.
Namamve showroom brings the Chinese automaker and its services closer to Ugandan customers.
We are getting new vehicles as opposed to importing the vehicles of 10 years, 12 years. Now this is being done here, and I was also impressed to hear that they have a very reliable after-sales service. So if anything was to happen, you know where the factory is for your vehicle. So I'm sure that in terms of maintenance costs, they'll be lower than possibly what we have been relying on.
Whatever our customers need is available, spare parts are available, service is there. So Photon has come to stay. We are going to ensure there is quality in service delivery, and we're going to ensure that our customers enjoy what is the best for them.
The company, whose light and heavy-duty vehicles are appreciated globally, is committed to support the growth of Uganda's transport sector with 7 distinct brands, and these are Omak, Tunland, Miller, View CS5, View CS2, Truckmet, Oman R and Oman C.
Currently, we are actually doing local assembling. We assemble locally the light-duty trucks, and our bosses are working so hard to ensure that even the heavy-duty trucks are assembled in Uganda. So we are going to actually reduce importation. We are going to do more of assembling locally.
Designed with affordability, durability, and modern styling in mind, the Photon collection is tailored to Uganda's terrain and unique road infrastructure.
I'm sure that these vehicles are going to be more affordable because of those incentives which are given to the investments like this one. Because there are a number of things which they forego. They have tax holidays. Most of the machinery which comes in for the industry comes in tax-free. They can take away their profits at will.
Dennis Igor for UBC.
Now, in the area of housing deficit, Uganda faces a significant housing deficit estimated at approximately 3 million units, driven by rapid urbanization, population growth, and an expanding middle class. Let's see more in this report.
Housing Finance Bank and Pearl Marina Estates have formed a strategic partnership aiming to unlock Uganda's housing sector by combining financial expertise with innovative property development.
We are happy to have this. First of all, Pearl Marina has got from our engagements with them, and for them to speak about this, a very great plan in terms of development of this whole area. So we are happy to walk the journey in terms of funding the prospective buyers of these units, and the opportunities for us are many. We have the strength, we have the expertise, we are able to make sure that this partnership is realistic, is achievable and honest.
The alliance seeks to deliver tailored mortgage products designed to expand accessibility and affordability for a broader group of Ugandans, particularly first-time buyers and middle-income earners. By leveraging Pearl Marina's modern housing solutions and Housing Finance Bank's customer-centric mortgage services, the partnership intends to streamline the home acquisition process from property identification to finance and ownership.
This partnership is going to help so many Ugandans who are lacking maybe the right financing support. They have a dream house in their mind, but they are just maybe struggling to collect the funds to raise for a house, and a right financing support through Housing Finance Bank will definitely help them to achieve their dreams.
This integrated approach reduces barriers caused by fragmented market offerings and complex procedures. The MOU also highlights a focus on data-driven innovations and operational excellence to improve risk management, credit assessment, and customer experience, paving way for scalable and sustainable housing finance models.
Together we are seeing how we redefine this landscape in terms of the tailored solution, but also unlocking the opportunities that exist in the real estate sector, an ecosystem of trusted partners to be able to offer and democratize the offering of different loans, services that will enable many Ugandans that have previously been kept out, that think some of these nice houses out of reach. No, here we are, and our offer and our commitment is to see how we make this journey achievable.
This collaboration aligns with Uganda's broader housing policies and Vision 2040, which emphasizes the role of private-public partnerships in closing the housing gap while supporting economic growth and social stability. It avails Ugandans with the financial tools required for home ownership, but also to stimulate construction sector growth, job creation, and wealth accumulation. Wadulo Arnold Mark, UBC News, in Kampala.
Now, in 2024-2025 financial year, the government of Uganda has emphasized the effective implementation of the parish development model, recognizing commercial officers as frontline service providers.
Cooperatives, Frederick Kumengobi, said government has also enhanced funding to local governments, raising allocations from 23 billion shillings in the previous financial year to 88 billion in 2025-2026.
In this regard, government, through the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, procured these motorcycles for commercial officers across the country. And that is the reason we are here to give out these motorcycles. Like the PSR has said, each city, district and municipality will receive one motorcycle.
He noted that each commercial officer is expected to use the motorcycle strictly for official duties, including monitoring of PDM activities, support to Omega beneficiaries, and extension services.
I don't want to find these motorcycles not maintained and mostly at drinking places or being ridden by unauthorized persons. The NRM government continues to mobilize resources for local governments to facilitate effective service delivery all over.
In his remarks, Chaitwan Dogra, CEO of Simba Automotive, said that the motorcycles will help officers carry out key tasks such as supervision, trade information services, cooperative mobilization, and business support.
And most importantly, selling a motorcycle could be an easy task, but maintaining this motorcycle is one of the most difficult tasks. Whereas Simba has reached out to 65 branches across the country in the most remotest places.
We came to add something great on Ugandan government. Honorable, if I can take you through the journey of a commercial segment, called them border riders. Simba has been able to provide motorcycles at a very affordable price.
Great leader, General, His Excellency, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and this is where we are right now.
Gabriel Atama, Cow Tororo, also chairperson of Cows in Uganda, urged government to look into increasing salaries and recruiting more local government staff so that service delivery matches the resources being provided.
Commercial officers are happy. They are now a department, but they still cry. They do a lot of work, but their salary is still low. Request that going forward, maybe they should also be given an opportunity to have a car. At least for the head of the department, should have a car. The motorcycle will assist in monitoring, it will assist in supervision and what have you.
Government says this intervention is part of a wider strategy to mobilize resources and facilitate effective service delivery at the local level. Rebecca Nantongo, Mike Bakabulindi, UBC News.
And in sports, it's down to the wire at the Johnny Walker Uganda Open Ladies Golf Championship. After 2 rounds at Lugazi Hills Golf and Country Club, Tanzanians Neema Olome and Kenyans Mercy Nyachama are tied at the top as the tournament heads into the final round.
Day 2 of the Uganda Open Ladies Championship saw the leaderboard tighten. Tanzania's Neema Olome, who dominated day 1, struggled with a 41 on the front 9, but recovered with a birdie on the par 4 13th to finish with 153 overall.
Raundi ya leo ilikuwa sio nzuri sana, sio mbaya sana, nimeteseka some holes lakini niko sawa. Kesho nimejipanga vizuri na nitaweka kichwa chini ili niweze kuwa mshindi wa hili shindano. Ni kesho nitajitahidi sana. Makosa niliyoyafanya leo nafikiri kesho sitayarudia.
Kenya's Mercy Nyachama kept her composure, carding 75 on the day, 3 shots better than her opening round and joining Olome in the lead.
Today's round was perfect. I really enjoyed. First 9 I played +1, which was good because yesterday I played +6. So that was a great improvement.
Uganda's Martha Babiri, a 3-time champion, sits in 3rd on 157, tied with Kenya's Ashley Awor, and will feature in Saturday's pressure group.
Today I sided so badly. My round was really, I struggled a lot today. I couldn't score today because today it was really hot compared to yesterday's heat.
Homestar Winnie Musuya is 5th on 164, just ahead of defending champion Idi Madina Hussein of Tanzania. The final round promises fireworks with the action capped by the 19th hole She-Walk Sip-Over celebration, headlined by songstress Vinka and powered by Johnny Walker.
That's all we had time for. Once again, thank you for hanging with us. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango. A very good night to you. Bye-bye.